Friends, the first lines of the gospel of today made me think, although further it has not much bearing on what the gospel and the Bible readings are saying, on the problem of suffering. Maybe because at the moment I have the flu, so I suffer slightly, and therefore I am more open for the dark side of life. In the days of Jesus' life on earth, dear friends, there was a widespread belief amongst the Jews that all suffering a man had to undergo was a punishment from God for his sins. Such a way of thinking you would call nowadays the prosperity gospel. Pray a lot, work hard, lead a good life, give a lot of money to the church, and then for sure God will reward you here with a prosperous life. You will be healthy most of the time, your business will flourish, you will have a long life. But if you do not do these kinds of good things, watch out. God will punish you. You will suffer. Prosperity gospel. And if you are not good, then no prosperity at all. From today's gospel reading, if you think about it deeply, you can see that Jesus himself did not hold such a simplistic theory. Not all suffering is a punishment of sin. And there are other places in the gospel where he even speaks about suffering as something that must happen, that is not altogether bad, because it brings about something good. Once the apostles met a blind man and they asked Jesus, "Master, for what reason is this man born blind? Is it because of his own sins or the sins of his parents?" Whereupon Jesus replied, "No, he was not born blind for any sins, but so that the works of God might be displayed in him." So something bad happened, the blindness of a man, in order to produce something good, the visibility of the works of God. And somehow, dear friends, isn't that what you can see all the time? I have often asked myself how the world would look like if everything here on earth would be absolutely perfect. No suffering, no injustice, no sickness, no death, everything just fine and as it should be. Now, what I have begun to suspect is that in such a perfect cloud cuckoo land, something beautiful will not be displayed anymore. The works of God, the works of his mercy and his compassion. Because what is the use of charitable works if there are no poor? And what is the use of the healing compassion of nurses and doctors if there are no sick? And what is the use of people heroically standing up for the truth if everything here on earth is spick and span, and of forgiveness, if there are no hurts, and of generous self-giving to the point of death, if nobody is in need anymore of anything, and where would we ever see the virtues displayed of, say, fidelity, endurance, humility, courage, and self-sacrificing generosity, if he never had to deal with any kind of suffering? Long ago in the 50s, we had a terrible flood in Holland. In one stormy night, several dikes were breached, and the water of the sea flooded large parts of the Netherlands. Thousands of people lost all they had, and many of them died. A terrific disaster, you would say. Yes, yes. But at the same time, in that one night, the whole Dutch nation was transformed into a beautiful community, displaying God's works of solidarity and compassion and love. Boys, girls, teenagers and seniors, young, old, rich and poor, they all went out to help and save the victims, sometimes at the cost of their very own lives. It was fantastic to see. Dear friends, suffering is bad. But it's also an opportunity for us to display the works of God and say, through our compassion, our mercy, and healing love. Once a rich millionaire approached God and said to him, "Why, God, are there so many poor in the world? And why are you not doing anything about it?" Whereupon God answered, "That is because I have created you to be my instrument of salvation. In fact, I am waiting for the moment that you stop complaining and begin to work." My last thought about suffering I take from the Apostle St. Paul, who says, "I am happy about my suffering, for by means of my physical suffering, I can help complete what still remains of Christ's suffering on behalf of the church." Was it not in the first place by the suffering of Jesus himself that we are redeemed? And did he not say that we too, if we really want to be his disciples, must take up our cross and follow him? And so, especially in the season of Lent, let us remember that our own cross too, in whatever way it is, in fact any cross, if we take it up in union with Christ, that it may somehow help him to bring about salvation in the world.